Welcome to Joa Fitness Health Wellness Video Podcast, a space to ignite your day through positive conversations. We bring people that have created excellence in their life, sharing high vibration in their reawakening path.
Hi, so here we're back with Stefanie Antunes. We just had the first chat on Monday when I was in California. Hi, how are you, Stefanie? We are in the same city now.
Happy to be back.
Great, so good, so good. So back in Toronto, it's been cold. Actually, yesterday I came here, it was a snowstorm, like it was crazy, and keeping ourselves warm. And today we're actually continuing our conversation. Last Monday we talked about what was the role of a doula and how the doula community is growing, not just in Toronto, but worldwide. Reminding you about Stefanie, she's actually a founder of the doula organization in Toronto. She guides women that want to become a doula, and she also has a great background in educating women, becoming moms, so childbirth educator, and you also a doula trainer, and you also manage 2 agencies with doulas, so you definitely know about the business, and you also know about the beautiful opportunity that we have now to have this kind of new way to work with emotions in the motherhood life, I guess. So now today we want to have a quick chat just about a specific topic that is being around lately in the new generations, women. As they become mothers, they develop a certain lack of probably grit, emotional grit, and they have many of them present symptoms of sadness and worry after having a kid. And then that's the topic today. We're going to be talking about baby blues, postpartum depression, and also psychosis. And for this specific topic, Stefanie Antunes is going to share her knowledge and her experience working with women. Thank you again for being part of this show today, and welcome. Yes.
Thanks. And I think that it's an important topic because a lot of times people find themselves, really wanting a baby, and then they have a baby and all of a sudden they're not enjoying themselves. And people think, oh no, did I make a mistake? Or they start to judge themselves. Why do I feel so horrible? And how come I don't feel like I'm enjoying my baby? And then it just turns into a spiral of negative feelings and emotions. So the first important thing I want to say is that, some people, they birth their baby and they see this baby and they look down and they're instantly in love. And I think a lot of us imagine that, but that's not how it goes for everybody. Some people, they birth the baby and they look down at the baby and think, where did you come from?
Yeah.
And it takes time because it really is a stranger in your life. And it takes time for some people to develop those bonding kind of feelings and emotions.
Yeah.
I want to start by saying that just to begin with, in terms of how we feel. But then there's a couple of things that can come up in after baby. First is baby blues, right? So baby blues affects 80% of new birthing parents. So almost everyone. And when we think about it, our hormones, they climb our whole pregnancy and then drop off like a cliff when we have our baby.
Yeah.
So of course there's going to be a lot of hormonal shifts happening. So we feel weepy, overwhelmed. Our body is healing from the birth, number one.
Yeah.
Not sleeping very well. We have a baby that wants to be on us all the time. And we're getting to know this new little person. We're reestablishing the dynamic as a parent, our new life as a parent. We're transitioning, whether it's first-time baby or we're transitioning from a family of one child to 2 or 3 or 5. It doesn't matter. Every time is an adjustment. And so just feeling overwhelmed, really, really normal. Baby blues tends to last 2-3 weeks, and then it typically resolves.
After the baby is with us, so 2 to 3 weeks of like this mood disorder kind of, but very mild, right? So you talk about baby blues, and many times people confuse baby blues with postpartum depression, PPD.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between baby blues and postpartum depression, which is just a clinical mood disorder that is now increasing as the years go. Could you just give us a little bit more of deep dive on this topic?
Yeah. So a lot of people are referring to it now as perinatal mood and anxiety disorders. So when we say perinatal, it means any time in that pregnancy, birth, and postpartum period. Because we all know it as postpartum depression, but for some people it starts during pregnancy. And for some people it's not a depressive type of scenario, it's more anxiety. Okay. And so when we have basically that chemical imbalance, so an imbalance in our moods that create either, it can be anxiety type symptoms, it could be depressive symptoms, it could be obsessive compulsive types of behaviors. Okay. And sometimes it could even present as like post-traumatic stress after our birth experience. So it can look a lot of different ways. But this is something that, although it can happen at any point in our perinatal period, the most common time is a couple months after baby's born. Yeah. So we often imagine it happening, we have this baby and all of a sudden we don't feel very well. But actually for a lot of people, it happens a couple of months later.
Yeah, it also happens after the second baby, right? Because you having already one baby and then the second baby, now you have two responsibilities. Sometimes the overwhelming part is just, it gets out of control. Now, about
anytime, yeah,
for sure. In the last one about the psychosis, this is definitely something not that common, right? It just affects just a very small quantity of women. And this one is actually very interesting. I'm watching one documentary about psychosis, and this has to be treated, and many times the baby has to be away from the mother until the mother can control this mood disorder. Have you ever worked with a woman that has psychosis?
I've seen that a couple of times in my, 17 years of practice is a long time, so I've seen it a couple of times. So I want to answer your question, but then I want to come back to talk about mood disorders again, because I want to spend some more time on that one. But postpartum psychosis, we're talking about 1 in 1,000, so very, very rare and unlikely. Okay. Most common to happen with someone who's already had a history of psychosis. Okay. So it typically happens in people that might already be predisposed. Yeah. And it's a complete psychotic break. So it always requires medication. It often requires hospitalization. And with a perinatal mood disorder, we could have people in our lives who don't really know that we're suffering from it. It's impossible to have postpartum psychosis and for people to not know, because we have a complete disconnect from reality. We don't care that our baby needs to eat, needs to be changed, that it's crying. So it's very, very obvious, and of course requires immediate attention. Yes. But coming back to perinatal mood disorders, because that affects about 15% of people. Yes. So really it's that's still quite a lot of people. And what happens for a lot of parents is that they don't know they have it. They just sit there having these strange thoughts go through their mind, or these behaviors that feel really uncomfortable, but they think, well, maybe this is just being a parent, and it's not. So if you sit there having thoughts of, and it might be strange thoughts, like you're walking down the stairs and you think, oh, if I drop my baby down the stairs, they would be harmed. Okay. And then you're startled by the thought, why did I think that? Yeah. I must be a horrible parent. So we call this intrusive thoughts or imagery. Yeah. When we have these thoughts going through our minds, and generally we just feel maybe we don't want to be social anymore. We don't want to leave our home. Yes. We feel like a bad parent. We think, oh, why did I do this? We start thinking of, how can I go back to work? How can I, someone else would be better off if my baby would be better off if someone else was taking care of them. We have these sort of negative thoughts going through our minds. And, we underestimate the power of breaks from responsibility. So like you were saying, when someone has that second baby, I think it's really important for us to remember that having a parent is a really, really big thing.
Yes, you have guests? Wow, so good. So we're gonna have to talk in the next one about the solutions for postpartum depression. It's gonna be a long strategies. But thank you so much for sharing this very quick comparison of all these disorders. We keep in touch, and the next one we go deeper into just postpartum depression. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.
Thanks, bye.
Stefanie.
We invite you to subscribe to this channel and share with your community. Please leave comments below, and if you like the episode, click the like button. Have a beautiful day.